Hello and welcome to the Listening Post's unboxing channel on YouTube. Today I'm very proud to be unboxing McIntosh's brand new DS200 streaming DAC. It's their reference quality streamer, full stop. It's built around a brilliantly stable networking protocol, feeding it the best low noise network connection. But what makes this product such a rock star is the efforts McIntosh have made in the digital to analog conversion space. Ultimately, there's a lot of streamers out there. There's a lot of streamers that purport to be very good. There's a lot of streamers that are very expensive. This is probably one of them. But none of them take the grip and authority to every element of that streamed audio like this one. McIntosh have put their best standalone DAC componentry in this streamer. It's so much more than a streamer. Yes, Spotify, Connect, Tidal, Deezer, all of those types of things. But it reserves 2 Coax, 2 Optical, an HDMI audio input, an MCT link, and a USB, asynchronous USB, to allow you to use all of your digital media and bring the best out of it. You can connect McIntosh's CD transport, you can connect the audio return channel out of your television, or a reference quality something with an HDMI out. Your traditional coax and optical are not forgotten about, and should you choose the asynchronous USB input, it'll run DSD512 and DXD all the way up the spectrums as far as the quality of the streamed audio that it will decode perfectly. It is unmistakably McIntosh, and it is utterly perfect. So let's have a look. Okay, firstly, I think if you've seen any of my unboxing videos, you know the monstrous size associated with McIntosh's packaging. Their export boxes are designed to preserve this no matter what treatment it's going to get being delivered to you. The boxes are huge. Okay. Now, firstly, on all 4 corners we've got the DS200 model number, scannable information associated with model and serial number. On all corners, McIntosh screen printed. Okay. Sealed closed with the classic McIntosh paper tape. So opening this is really, really straightforward. Carefully slicing through that tape and across the top. Okay. As always, it reveals the more proportional inner box and the level of work that McIntosh have gone into as far as preserving this product in freight. It's held in the middle, it's suspended in the middle of an oversized carton to ensure that impact damage is reduced, and even forklifts. I mean, look how far they're going to have to go into that before it touches the unit. So it's absolutely brilliant that they've had such a care and attention to a product like this. Lifting it out is pretty straightforward. Okay. There's nothing else in the big box. It's done the job. And then we look at the box of the product itself. Again, supported with a whole bunch of closed cell foam to suspend it in the middle of that larger box for freight. And then the inner box has again the scannable information emulating what's on the outer box and a single code in the middle. It's taped closed with again McIntosh's paper tape, and again opening that is very, very straightforward. Okay, it's factory sealed tape. Run a knife around it and you're in. Opening this is really, really straightforward, and it reveals layer upon layer of protection of all of the surfaces of the streamer. Firstly, folded cardboard. You'll see that that sort of layer is the notch from the front display of the unit, and the rest of it is protecting just the flat surface of the top. The first thing we see front and centre on the top of the unit is an extremely comprehensive user manual. These have control and data points, ports. They're 3.5mm, so you can turn on an amplifier and it'll light up the streamer. The control from a preamp into it is via a control link. All of those types of things, take it for granted. We'll dive into that a little bit later, but it's all explained in this comprehensive user manual, as well as setting up the inputs for the best effect as far as tuning it to how you would need it to operate in your home. Then we see not one, not two, but three Wi-Fi aerials. One of them is actually a Bluetooth aerial, but they're all identical. The three aerials are they're generic Wi-Fi aerials, I would suspect. Classic screw-on ones with a bend. Then we've got McIntosh's oversized IEC earthed power cord. It's a couple of metres long. And then a new system remote from McIntosh, the HTR091. Now the remote control is compact in its size. Basic control can be delivered with the traditional system remotes from McIntosh. This is quite specific to the unit, which is why it's a little different in size and shape. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same form factor as the RS150, RS250 remote controls. That certainly seems to be the case from the initial first impression. It's got a lovely weight and fit and feel to it, and you can select all of the basics, including the inputs that you'll require to best utilise the onboard DAC. Now, lifting the unit out is really straightforward at this point. Okay? It's relatively light in the grand scheme of things, certainly from a McIntosh perspective. But if we pause for a second and have a look at the efforts that McIntosh have made to ensure that the packaging, the raised feet for McIntosh, lock into this packaging, again ensuring it's not going to move or get damaged in the transit. Okay? Again, get rid of that. Right. There's an oversized plastic bag protecting the unit for its final kind of use. It's sellotape closed with a couple of decent sized pieces of sellotape. Taking that bag off is really straightforward, and we get to see the unit for the first time. Now in the bag there's a discant bag for moisture, and it's in a soft cloth bag to ensure it can't scratch the product. Okay, those as well. Okay, looking at the front we see how classically elegant and McIntosh design it is. The aluminium extruded wings, iconic for everything in its range, setting it identically the width of all of the matched related components. Preamps, CD players, CD transports, all with the same look and feel. We see some basic controls via rotary encoder, and like many of the McIntosh products, the rotary encoder creates the ability to adjust and change settings through a selection and input. In this instance, push and hold, it goes into the setup menu. You've got basic operation beneath that in the form of skip backwards and forwards, play, pause, and then stop. You've got a network tricolour LED letting you know the network status. We've got McIntosh screen printed on the inside of the glass, so it's scratch free, along with the DS200 streaming DAC logos. It's a two-line illuminated dot matrix display, and beside that is a big IR sensor for its control. Then we've got the basic level control. Now, it's worth mentioning a couple of things. Firstly, this out of the box comes as a fixed output, both by RCA and balanced. If you choose to, you can couple this directly to a power amplifier and allow the variable output as part of its setup. Obviously, cautionary tale, change the setting before connecting it to a power amplifier just in case, but that The rotary encoder controls the digital volume control that McIntosh have built in and perfected in some of their previous DACs like the D100. So excellent to see that feature still incorporated, and it gives a visual balance to the unit itself from a stackability and McIntosh style perspective as well. Beneath the level control we've got a Bluetooth connection button, and the status changes during pairing, etc. Obviously selecting that changes to the Bluetooth input, pushing and holding goes into a pairing mode. We've got the ability to turn off the display, and then a basic mute for its output. Then a red standby button, again emulating the classic McIntosh style. The rest of it's relatively muted from a casework perspective because it's, I guess, what it's doing well inside doesn't actually take up a lot of space. The DACs, when they're in their DA2 boards, are only about this size. So it's about regulating the power to it, regulating the noise out and in of it, and of course managing network. So the form factor doesn't need to be this big, but they've chosen that to ensure that they can have perfect circuit topography, and it has paid off. Standard McIntosh depth, by the way, and again as we see that ventilation, it's at the back we see how feature rich this streamer really is. The boring side of things, we've got the IEC power socket and one of the two aerials either side, left and right hand top corners. It's worth mentioning that the middle is the Bluetooth, again ensuring that the Bluetooth is handled slightly differently on board. Even as a Bluetooth receiver, by the way, this is pretty damn good. Again, utilising McIntosh's superior digital to analog conversion skills. Underneath the IEC power socket, we've got a bit of information about the voltage, and then the audio outputs, the analog audio outputs. There's a set of balanced XLR outputs and a set of traditional single-ended RCA outputs, both clearly labelled left and right. The control that I alluded to earlier is in the form of 6 3.5mm inputs and outputs associated with trigger, power on and off, data and control, all via the connection of a 3.5mm mono or stereo cable. There's a rear USB for the purposes of servicing and potentially bringing this out of a dark place if something really bad has happened from a software perspective. Then we see the Ethernet connection. It's a gigabit connection, as you would expect with anything at this level, and it's physically isolated from a circuit topography perspective as well. Then we see the two coax and two optical digital inputs, both clearly labelled, and then the AES EBU or balanced digital input as well. Then we see the MCT, the CD transport link, unique to McIntosh, and above it, beside it, a couple of the less unique, far more user-friendly inputs associated with getting the most out of this day-to-day, which is the HDMI ARC audio return channel and the USB for asynchronous connections. So there we have it. McIntosh's stunning DS200 streamer, unboxed here at the Listening Post in Christchurch, New Zealand. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, subscribe to our channel.